around 10 days back, wherein they were showing um, that this many days took for the first pandemic to come out with a vaccine, and 3,000 years, then 2,000 years for the next malaria vaccine, and then so on and so forth. So many things they were showing, and then ultimately last one was you know the vaccine came up in 3 to 4 months. I hope COVID is also one of those, and we come out with the solution, which we have not come out till now. A lot of news is coming in from this has come out with a solution, and that has come out with a solution. But yeah, nothing very concrete. Yeah, coming back to what angel investors are, doing right now. Angel investors, especially at IN, are very seasoned ones, and thanks to that actually, because we being the oldest, and our members have seen the churn, they've seen the ups and downs of industries, they've seen successes and failures. 2008, the bust happened, and 2006 is where we had, started IN, and these are matured entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs, or running businesses right now, and or leading businesses, CEOs, CTOs, and CEOs, CXOs. So these people have seen challenges in their businesses, and when it comes to angel investing, they are not panicking as such. But yes, of course, 10%, 15% of all the networks, I'm sure, is having those new generation investors who came in with the high tide, and they will wither out with the low tide. That is a part of angel investments, and that is the risk taking capacities, wherein some of the seasoned ones have started seeing this as an opportunity. And I would like to state that, as any other investor, angel investors are also opportunistic people. And why not? This is tax paid and earned, every penny of it, money of theirs. So they, like any other investor, have taken a lot of risk in the past. They are on a verge of a new, challenge which is hitting them on their face. They have seen few failures, and they are anticipating that few others will go down if the market doesn't open up. Their near, investments made in the last 5 6 months are not looking all that good. But having said that, they are trying to support that. We at IN having lead investor calls. We are trying to support our companies getting into P&Ls, and not trying to run the show as a captain, but being a coach over there and trying to tell them how to handle their salaries, their revisiting their you know uh, the whole P&L structure. What is bank? What is there in their bank? How do they become more bootstrapped, and so on and so forth. So that is what we are trying to do with our portfolio companies. Having said that, this is a challenge, and any challenge that comes up shows always there is a hindsight and always a bright side. So it depends on which side of the table that you are in, and you need to run the baton from that side. If you are a startup which has not been funded right now, and you are into developing stage, or for example, you are a company which is giving a solution to a largest problem and a huge audience there. So now this challenge has to be taken in as going to be there for say 1 or 2 years, say 1 year only. Let's take 1 year. So a startup's life at the time of the beginning becomes very, it's let's not plan. He does take money for X kind of a delivery of a product for 1 year, and then goes on. By the time of 6 months, he pivots again, and very few of them stick on to their market delivery and go to market strategy. They keep on pivoting their product, their go to market strategy, their customer behavior changes. So there are a lot of, because the nature of them being so early, that they can do that kind of flexibility, and and pivot little bit, and should not ever be married to the the solution, but should always be married to the problem as such. So I think that's a very clear cut thing that comes in, that you as a startup should never ever be married to your solution. you're married to your solution, you're too obsessed with it, you generally try to keep on looking at it only as the only given solution. And that is where, a lot of companies fail, and a lot of CEOs and founders, fail to see that, there are other ways of solving this solution. Neutrally, you have to be a little, you know, not that connected with your solution, and just create your mind to address the problem as such. So if you are problem, driven, solution driven, and not your product driven entirely, it sometimes really helps, because in times of where you can see that there is a Puma in front of you, you're going to fall. You don't necessarily jump into it and try to become a hero that I will pull it off. My product is next to bread. It is too good. Rather than seeing that there is a simpler solution of pivoting, and not everything is lost. So these kind of things come in at the time of crisis, and your real core as an entrepreneur is tested. Having said that, coming back to my discussion on angel investors and the market, we at IN were aggressively um, taking up at least one company in 10 days at the angel level, and giving angel investors an opportunity to invest into that company. That has gone down. We are now maybe 20-25 days have gone by. We have not taken up a new company, because of the simple reason that there is a lot of uncertainty right now in members, in sectors, in entrepreneurs, in the market, in the problem, in the solution, in the customer behavior. Everything is a question mark right now. Certain sectors are gaining, wherein farm to fork, or overall the medtech industry, then the edutech industry. Certain sectors are getting a unnatural kind of a spike over here. But having seen the nature of the beast, and businesses, how they react to problems, and opportunities, we know it that these spikes are temporary, and they will come back to the normal, if not as low as what they were earlier. But market corrections are happening. We had issued 5 term sheets, for example. I'll be realistic over here, and out of that, 3 we have revisiting and trying to reevaluate under the current market scenario, from our side, from the lead angels, from our angels, and 2 have been withdrawn surprisingly from the founder side. They want to reevaluate, because suddenly there is a lot of spike in their business. So I'm not saying that this pandemic is a huge it's a no-brainer, or we should not plan accordingly. I'm just saying that these kind of crises, these kind of 5-10% up and down will keep on happening as an entrepreneur in your life. It's in a way good time for you to come up and face it very early in your entrepreneurial journey. This will become, it will make you stronger. By the end of, you will come out as winners. I'm sure people who will wither out didn't have that grit in them, didn't have that passion in them, didn't have that clarity of what they wanted to do. And it's good that they didn't waste much time and money and efforts in going through the grind. But of course, for people who will utilize this time of, there are people I have gone and met on Zoom. Of course, there is no physical meeting happening, wherein people are very clear. They are pivoting, they are revisiting their product, their services, their problems, their customer behavior, how a pizza is being delivered to my place, if at all it is now being delivered, because it's coming up in a wrapped dabba, and it's all infection free. And Swiggy, Zomato are partnering with companies. I have just spoken to someone yesterday. It's a IN portfolio company, and now a VC has also come in long time back, around 2 years back, and the company has all of a sudden started giving these kind of boxes to pizza to Zomato and Swiggy. So these kind of the market is shut for certain companies, and there is no movement as such. Why not put your innovation app on, and trying to build up some kind of an alternate PNL, for the time being can be one option. Can be, revisiting your product and services, and we, evaluating where your customer will require certain amount of changes now. All these things can be done right now. And for people who have not taken funding, the best time, because the world, when now it opens up to normal market, your customer is who he is now. You can't, sort of data and analysis on customer behavior and your customer requirements, and whether your product and services falls under that need to have or nice to have business, needs to be reevaluated. Each one of you need to actually see whether which side of the table do you fall once this, you know this disease or paradigm shift of behavior of customer stabilizes. So that is what I'll say. And would be very keen to listen to any kind of questions that are coming in. And I'll try to address as many as I can, because this is what my experience has been over the last 30 to 40 days. It's not too much of data that I have right now, but yes, certain sectors are looking good, and angel investors, opportunistic investors looking for greener pastures, we are investing in certain sectors. And yes, some sectors we are not at all looking at for the time being. That doesn't mean that those sectors are over, and we're not going to invest ever in those sectors. That will not happen. We will come back. Somewhere it is a good thing that some kind of a re-evaluation and restructuring of valuations is happening, and we are talking going back to the drawing table as investors, wherein you as founders and startup company owners, you need to go back to your drawing table and do that same exercise yourself. So it's good time to sit back and take a back seat. I would request that we open this session for Q&A, and I'm sure people will be wanting some answers which I can help in try and give you a feedback on.
Sure, sir. Thanks for sharing your views on the investment scenario. And I think we have the question from Arithro. So he wants to know which are the sectors, after the lockdown, which have the more focus toward the from the funding agencies or investors.
Anything to do with health, healthcare overall sector looks good. The farm to fork kind of, wherein helping the farmers to get vegetables, fruits in a hygienic way delivered to your own place looks good. And edutech looks good, because my son is in 8th and he's just not going to school, and don't think that will open up before September. And lot of opportunity now for those companies to hit the schools and try to get some market over there. And once you have a market, whenever it opens up back to to the normal business, I'm sure your business is not going to get that. They'll not kick you out. They will be, and you can pivot your product at that point of time and giving some kind of a different service. That, but these are few sectors, and yeah, fintech remains to certain extent there. And once we open up, and immediately, the certain sectors will not be, mobility is not something looking very good in the near future. And certain sectors like restaurants and event management and marketing and digital marketing and all, again will see a spike right now. Everyone is on digital, and any AI driven solutions giving solutions to these sectors which are looking positive right now will be most welcome. So people in AI industry and things, giving a very large customer solution pool, should just directly focus on the sectors which are looking good and who are being funded right now, and looking not that grim in comparison to other sectors.
Right, because that is why we've been seeing the investments. I mean, these February, March, and April month have not been, without investment. So we have seen investments from, edtech sector, gaming, as well as logistics. So we have seen, I mean, they have been debt as well as Series A. So these are pretty more mature stages. So not the early stages, just like we have been seeing the, seed angel. So these are not the ones, but we are from later and mature stages, E's, D, so all those stages. Sure. So next question, we have from yes, from Mrityunjay. So he wants to ask what will be the funding scenario for early stage agri-tech startups.
Like I said, agri-tech is depending on the solution. Agri-tech is a very large, sector. Depending on the solution that he is giving, if he can ask me a direct question, I would be able to answer it directly. Agri-tech is, always been there, and I personally feel that agri-tech, personally, not as the CEO, personally feel that it is going to be one of the the next gate crasher in terms of huge market potential, and it's not at all tapped. And I feel India is a is an agricultural based economy in the larger sense, and we really have not had not many startups going and giving solutions to these farmers and agri based startups. But having said that, there is a paradigm shift happening over there that we have been seeing and waiting for the last 1 year. But not many VCs and later stage funding comes in this sector, and that is where the sector has not matured, and angels then get a little wary to invest in this sector. I'll be very candid and upfront that this sector is challenging because it has a lot of problems. It has problems is again opportunities there, and lot of potentials for startups to come up with faster innovative solutions. But angels will come in also if we take that as a situation. VCs coming in specifically into this sector, they've always been a little shy of this particular sector. So if you see the kind of VCs there in all other sectors rather than agri-tech, it is a little limited. But I'm sure that market is changing. Right now, yeah, it is COVID and things can be, but this is a good opportunity to scale up agri-tech may farm to fork kind of sectors wherein helping from that farm to the breakfast table or a lunch table of a person. Those kind of problems and creating solutions there can be, yeah, they will definitely gain market, right?
Okay. So like we can see the angel investments to happen. It will take some time, until as the things get clear post this lockdown and coronavirus as well. And the later stage fundings will keep on happening because they have identified. Because one of the issue I also see, because angel investors, they have also the issue with the liquidity right now. The stock markets are down already. So if they have, they have to see their portfolio as well before investing in startups. So do you see? I mean, they see a too much downside right now.
What generally happens is, it all depends whether it's angel investing or share market or investing into bonds and equities and gold. It's all market driven. So yes, the way the markets are behaving and shares market to hai nahi, band hi pada hua hai sab kuch. Markets are dipping, all industries are going down. So naturally, generally it's not advised to invest more than 10 to 15% of your total investable income of an individual to invest into startups. And there can be maximum 5-10% variance over there. Some people may be investing more, but yeah, it's a completely different alternate form of investments wherein you take very large risks and try to cover up by taking that risk, and trying to get one or two kickers in your portfolio. But having said that, it is not for people who are weak in the heart, and it is a risk which generally taken by HNIs who have a certain bucket or a portfolio. So 50 lakhs or maybe 1 crore parked aside for taking this kind of investment risk in maybe 5 to 10 companies. via investor groups like IAN or many others that we have across the globe. And then, in 1 crore, if 2 or 3 companies make it to that level of 50 or 100 times, your money is covered, and the rest of them, can give you something additional. And 3 to 4, you expect to go down. So angel investing and rest of the market, yes, of course, it matters for investors who are, not who are pessimistic, or who think that this is going down, so this is all linked. But on the other side, I have seen and observed very closely, once the share market and all starts going down, and if the startup industry and the founders that we are funding are giving good returns, we have seen a real big spike, in fact, of the markets going down in angel investments.
Right.
But yeah, if this continues, that the markets continue to go down, their prime investments and their main sectors which have been bread and butter to these investors, their own businesses, for example, and all, then of course they will not take these kind of risks. But right now it's too early. It's like 1.5 months, which in the life of a startup can be 6.5 months. But for an investor and a seasoned investor, I don't think so. It is that grim. It can be a little bit of a speed breaker, not more than that.
Sure. So we have questions from Aditya. So Aditya, I'll unmute you so you can ask your question.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible, I guess?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. So again, a good insight on what we are currently facing. I think an understanding of what exactly is going on. Very quickly, what is the initiative that IAN is taking for interacting? Basically, what startups are working on interacting COVID scenario right now, especially companies which requires not only support in scaling their solutions but also getting supply chain, customer connect, and industry support during this complete shutdown. What are the initiatives taken by IAN?
We generally, our group is of 517 angel investors spread across 12 countries, and we have a portfolio of 150 plus companies in 17 sectors, 18 sectors, sorry, that we have invested in. And we have given an IRR returns to our investors to the tune of 30. And a failure ratio of our companies is right now at 17, might go up to a little bit around 20-25%, because maximum of the investments have been in the last 2 to 3 years, and we have taken that as a 1x, and we are still awaiting the results to come in. And having said that, the money goes into these startups, and looking at the base of our angel investors, 90 to 91% of these angel investors are first time entrepreneurs who have made it big in their own, on their own, and they are garage to IPOs or currently running their businesses successfully, or they are currently CEOs, CTOs, CXOs of various companies. Having said that, their time constraint is limited. Time that they have is limited. So IN as a consortium only invest into startups. So we get around 11,000 business plans in a year, and finally somewhere going through the whole diligence process, and going through the members pipelines and their presentations in front of them, then diligence, legal and financial diligence, we finally go ahead and invest only in 30 to 40 startups in a year. And this is where the mentoring and the market access comes in. So as a network, we provide mentoring and market access to the companies that we have invested in, because these higher net worth individuals are currently, most of them, running their own companies and having their own businesses. They have limited time, so they invest, then they have a skin in the game, then they try to give mentoring as well as market access to those companies that we have invested in. Having said that, we have a separate channel of mentoring and market access, which is the IN incubation services, which I am a director on, and Padmaja Ruparel is also a director on. We go and partner with various state governments to run their incubation services. So, for example, we have partnered with Rajasthan government, and even partnered with Kerala government and Bihar Industrial Association part of the Bihar government, which the incubation center is their hardware, and the software which is running of the incubation center and everything else is done by us. We have a team based over there, and then we get these members from IN as and when, as per the requirement of the incubator and incubatees on the problem that they are facing. We get these members to go and visit these incubation centers, talk to these people one on one and in group sessions, and we do that mentoring session. Market access, if you're talking about, that purely comes into only the companies that we have invested in, and of course all our members, board members as well as our members, we go on to panels run by TIE and various state governments, and we give our mentoring to people who can come in these pitch sessions or these sessions, and interact with us. And we have TIE at IAN, and we have walk-in at IANs across major cities in India, wherein we have days assigned in a week or a month where it's an open house and where founders can just come in and interact with us as a team, where we have 2, 3 to 4, 5 members from various domains come and sit that particular day at the IN office and address the issues and maybe give them a one-on-one kind of a solution.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that answers your question, Aditya.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so next we have Bharat. So Bharat, I'm unmuting you. Can you go next?
Hi, good morning. This is Bharat here.
Hi, Bharat.
Yeah. My question I have mentioned in the chat box also. Why there is a kind of herd mentality in most of the investors who invest only in certain sectors? Not, you can say, lateral investment is not there. There are vertical type investments in certain sectors like edutech, fintech, medtech mostly. So, what is the reason behind?
No, you're talking about overall.
Overall.
We have invested in, like I said, we have invested in 19 sectors till now. So we are completely sector agnostic. We have no issues on to. We have invested in Wow Momos, which is a food tech. We have invested in medtech. We have invested in stage companies. We have invested in companies which have at the ideation stage also, 1 or 2 of them, and across sectors. So you name the sector. In manufacturing, we have invested in a dosa manufacturing machine. In in agri-tech, we have invested in farmers, FZ. We have invested in probably all the possible sectors. Angel investors at IN are themselves domain experts of around 22, 23 domains, and we look forward for good business opportunities which are catering to larger business solutions and a need to have kind of a thing, not a nice to have. And we would at the angel level love to invest into any startup founder who convinces the members that yes, he has got something unique in his product or the solution that he's providing, and he is the person along with his co-founders who can deliver the solution to the people who are looking for that solution, and grow his business from whichever stage that he is in when the money is being asked for, to say at least 100 times level to what the angel investors need to at least imagine, and they have matured enough to understand that if they don't see 100x right now, or at least can think about a 100x right now, the realistic figures with all the pros and cons and the covids of the world will not be more than 10 to 20x. So if they see only 10 or 10x or 2 or 3x, they would not rather invest in a startup where they see 2 or 3x coming into their business, rather than go and invest in the share market or any other more secured form of business, than taking such a huge risk when the returns are limited. So you need to get into the angel investor shoe to understand, because you are on the other side. You need to understand that these are angel investors. Angel and investors is all fine, but let's get to the harsh and sharp realities of life, that these are investors and they have made their money the hard way, and it's all tax paid individual money which is going into the company. They have individually been, uh, domain experts of one, two, maximum three areas that they have driven across their lives, and they come in and join investor groups like IAN and others who invest into the domain that they are experts of, or via other domain experts in as members in the group, do some peer investing and invest behind these investors and their expertise. So I hope I'm being able to answer. Overall, we're completely sector agnostic. IN does not have any, no other words to say. We see a kick-ass team and a kick-ass founder with a good solution and a good market strategy, and we see that that this person is it. He's got that fire and in the belly, and he has put in his own life and work behind this. He's put in the skin in the game. He has put in that 23 lakhs which was required to put that skin in the game from his friends and family and fools rounds, and so on and so forth. So whatever these tick marks are, uh, if there is a tick over there, we would rather go and invest in that. So it is basically no
Right.
sector as such that we look at.
Sure, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I've got it now.
Thank you.
So we have one more question from Bharat from EPY India. Yeah, Bharat.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is about like what would be the future of energy tech startup or like clean tech startup after this pandemic?
क्लीन टेक तो अच्छा ही रहेगा ना. एवरीबडी इज whoever. मैं तो जिंदगी में कभी भी हाथ भी नहीं. I never used to even wash my hands before having my food and all. And it's a norm, that गले नहीं मिले या हाथ नहीं मिलाया तो it's taken as rude behavior. So everything is changing now. Customer behavior is changing. If I extend my hand, he will find it. Oh God, is he mad? So culture is changing. Customer behavior is changing. So anything to do with clean tech and when business comes back to normal, this is going to be in whichever sector you are in. Clean tech and these sectors are going to take a good spike right now. Specifically for specific problems, it might take an even better. I'm very gungo on clean tech overall. So good time to be in that sector and build up your solution if you are in that early stage. Having keep a good watch onto your customer behavior and try to get your solution as aligned to post-COVID kind of a scenario, or in COVID, wherein you don't develop a product which is not aligned with the customer behavior and solution.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Sir. Yeah, we have Amar from Life EdTech. Amar, you have raised your hand. Can you please ask your question? I'm unmuting you.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Amar.
Actually, my question is basically regarding we are an edtech company and we work with schools across Maharashtra and Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Now we have a very unique request coming in for schools looking at because we work in B and C category schools for school fee funding for the parents. Schools are going through a challenge of fees not being collected. So we are looking at a fund reserve or an investment for that particular portfolio under our edtech company. Do you think we can bring in a combination of an edtech product along with the fintech at this point of time?
Yeah, good time to collab. That is what is required right now. You should go ahead and partner with one of these fintech companies, and I'm sure there will be hundreds of them right now in that space. And if you had demand coming in, that's what I'm saying, that new product developments and partnerships are going to be a part of what you need to do right now. You should not even think twice, and you should partner and collaborate and change your product as and when as what is required. And this is your getaway into that market, and maybe a USP for you to break the rest of the schools.
Okay, so in that case, if you have anything under your portfolio as an organization, if you could suggest we can partner with, it will be great.
I will write back, but on fintech solutions we of this nature, on small term education loans to colleges and all, we have someone known as University Living, but not on fintech loan providing. We have not funded a company like that, but I'm sure there are a lot of them. If you Google and you'll see companies who are in who are addressing this particular space, and even if they're not funded and all, if they are into that space right now, and even funded companies, that will be even better for you to partner and and a good product to come in for these schools, and it's a fantastic time for you to do that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the.
Thanks.
Thank you, Amar. So next, sir, we have Rakesh from. So they have recently got the funding from SDFC Parivartan Grant, and they had this DFID Invent Fund previously as well. So muting Tumri.com. So they work with in the livelihood sector, and they work on providing the connecting the platform for handicrafts and all. Yeah. Mr.
We
Rakesh.
have a company called GoCoop in the same space.
Good morning, sir. Right, sir. Right.
Good morning.
Good morning. We have a company called Thumri.com, which
Thumri
is
is a music form of UP, if I'm not wrong, or Rajasthan.
Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Rajasthan. So yes, Thumri was earlier onboarding all the handmade products which is available across Orissa, but now we are thinking of onboarding all kind of rice, coffee, dal, millets, spices, and food items. So is it going to be a good move, or shall we stick to the previous products what we are, like handlooms, handicrafts, all that?
You are now trying to get into food and all the rest of the things also.
All homegrown and state entities, state cooperatives, those who are trying to promote all these products. We just want to onboard all homegrown products, including all organic, all farmers produced, and similarly like handloom and handicrafts, which is targeting all the Indian artisans earlier. Now we want to target all the farm produced, which will be less perishable, but we can keep it in our store, we can dispatch it. So we have already started working. We have already onboarded rice, coffee, dal, millets, amla, harida, neem powder, then spices, under spices, all the spices, and in food items, badi, papad, and pickle. So is it going to be a good move or not? And we're also thinking of expanding to other states as well.
No, but this is a complete pivot into so many, completely new business line. And, I don't know whether, this is matching to what you were doing earlier. Why did you actually want to pivot? Because of COVID, or some business opportunities came in and you just took a chance, or it was a thought plan, or what was the thought behind this? Why did you all of a sudden shift into from providing solutions of artisans in say Rajasthan to have a market online to something which is which so many people are already doing, and it's a completely different market altogether that you're trying to address now. Once you start coming on to a size, you will be facing music from a lot of competition, and growth will be you'll entirely be required to, as a founder, to be focused only on this sector and then deliver on this sector, because that other sector itself has its own challenges. And at the scale that you are in right now, it is good. And if you are self-funded, then of course any form of money coming in and any kind of business opportunities that you're seeing, and you don't have to put in extra efforts and in terms of time and money, is good. But eventually I feel you will need to literally focus on delivery on one of these product lines rather than expanding vertically in both of them, because these particular business lines that you're talking about are completely different in terms of delivery.
Okay, so we have already thought about it long back, And as we have a network which is working in different rural belt in the state, the same people now, from last couple of months, we have started working this, because we have not added new force with the existing force and with the existing channel partners, because those artisans are also staying in different rural belts, pockets of the state. So it was a bit easier for us, and we have already worked on it. But if you suggest that it's going to be different vertical, probably we'll stop it now. But we thought probably this is the right time to
No,
launch
I'm
it.
not saying you that you stop it, because मेरे कहने से अगर आप अपना business का कोई line बंद कर रहे हो, that's not the right thing, because you as a CEO have to decide what is the future. What if you see that the business possibility and the processing and whatever that you're doing to reach to these farmers itself and artisans or farmers or someone in that interiors itself is a challenge, and you have somewhere circum to that challenge, and you are seeing some business traction over there in terms of the produce or in terms of the beauty and the art that they were doing earlier.
Sir.
End of it, when it comes to scale, when you come to scale, which is the one which can really go, and you as a business founder can see that business scaling up, and you have the current skill sets as well as market and know-how of the solution that you are providing right now, जिसको आप scale up कर सकते हो, you should focus on that. And maybe it's a little too early for me to make that comment that you should do this and you should not do this. It all depends on where you are seeing and more traction, and where you see that you can be more successful as an entrepreneur.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next we have Biswa Nayak. Biswa, can you please ask your question?
Yeah. Hi, Gaurav.
Yeah. Hi, Biswa.
Yeah. Hi. See, my question is related to my existing startup. I already had a startup known as 0KM. We were the first online delivery platform in Odisha, Bhubaneswar. We were delivering foods and grocery items. But after Zomato and Swiggy came in, our startup was almost dead. So last year we started, empowering the.
Biswa, are you Bhubaneswar? Did you connect with me earlier, long time back?
No.
Okay. There was a food delivery startup of a person who had connected with me long time back, and
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, we were the first one. After them, a lot of them started, but no one existed.
Okay.
We could sustain on our own, and in fact, we got 3 acquisition offers. One was from a local player, second was from Zomato, and third was from another international player. But unfortunately, nothing materialized.
Okay.
But since Zomato and Swiggy came in with a lot of VC funds and all, we almost died. But still, we are surviving. Last year, I diverged into another segment. Where we were empowering the local stores. Like suppose you are ordering a phone from Amazon or Flipkart. It normally takes 4 days to get it delivered. And apart from that, there are many issues. Like there are some instances where we get damaged phones, used phones, and fake items. So instead of that, our platform, what used to do, like if you place an order of iPhone, we'll get it delivered in 2 hours. So that would be another advantage. Apart from that, it will be also a genuine product. So now my question is, since Reliance Jio has come up with this new format of delivering food, everything from local stores, my concern is like how I am going to survive. Till now it has been bootstrapped from last 4 years. So is it advisable I should start looking for funds? And if I'll start looking for funds, if our VC is going to fund me in this current scenario where Reliance is trying to pitch into the same segment?
Reliance is going to come in, and there are other sectors also. People are coming in. Amazon is coming up with new ways of addressing their problems of breakages and all that you're saying. So in my society, for example, they have put up a shop. There's a box over there, which is a delivery point for all of my society, for Amazon, for Flipkart, for everyone. So there's which is there, and there one person will be sitting over there, same face to be delivering into all of the society, and the van will come and deliver all of my society's products over there. Then the next van will come and deliver all of it over there, and from there, if anything is damaged, the same face will be going in across all the 7 buildings. And so these kind of solutions are also getting built in. So it is going to be very challenging for you to have a local startup amongst all this. It's not only competition, but look at your original problem and the solution that you're giving. If the customers will get a better, faster, bigger, branded company coming in, they will thrill. And yes, of course, and you've named the biggest in taking over markets. I will not suggest that you should, you need to be very, very careful, and not because of Reliance being there, VCs will not come in and fund you, or they will fund you. It's purely your strategy and how you go forward will determine the pace, because every space wherever there is the market opportunities, VCs and angel investors are ready to invest in that.
Okay, that's really nice. I mean, it's really encouraging that I should keep on trying.
Yeah. So, Vijesh, I'm unmuting you. You can go for your question.
Hi, sir. Hi, Digvijay, sir. This is Vijay Singh from Bhopal. I have a company, Fast app. So I have just two. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I have two questions to you, sir, and your thoughts on it. Angel investors were really called angels because they were the first door to funding. And initially, they used to have a very strong opinion about the business idea and execution team and the potential of the business. And that used to be the business funding criteria. So now, from our experience, what we are seeing is mostly angels are also moving towards the VC kind of funding nature. So they have consortium, and now they want to see the growth, the scale, and everything, and then only they fund. So my second part is that as the angel investing is considered the first door of funding, and for an early stage company, if that is not open yet, so what you think stage company should do or go for their funding rates if they have a good business and they strongly feel that they can create a very big impact through their business across the country and across the world?
बहुत लंबा क्वेश्चन है. Can you just break it up first and second part? I'll answer it better then.
First part was just like angel investors are now mostly having a funding thought like VCs. So they are now growth to invest. And secondly, if at all that door is closed, which was the first door for any early stage company, so now दरवाजा ही बंद है तो वो कहाँ जा सकता है अगर उसको लगता है कि उसके बिजनेस में पोटेंशियल है?
If there is traction in your business,
Yes.
then then there are other places that you can go if angel investors are not supporting, and at that point of time, and you can go to incubation centers who generally incubate startups for a certain equity, and then get to market acceleration and get you more business, and from there you approach angels or directly to VCs also. It doesn't make any difference if angels are not there. Are a lot of companies who join accelerators, and after no angel round and no funding, so they just get into product development, and with 10-15 lakhs of their friends, family, or customers money, they start getting customer traction, and they don't need that middle round of funding of angels, say 1 to 6 crores, and they straight away get on to business on the highway, and from there go on to VC levels. And for the first question, angels, always have been in India. It has just been 10 to 12 years, so of angel investing. So they have not really, seen the market is not that matured for angel investors to start investing in and taking even larger fund of risks than what if you compare to US and all those countries, because they're developed nations and developed in terms of startup ecosystem. So here, more than 50% of the angel investors that you see across India have not even seen their first exit. So the economy has just started really, and we started talking about angel investing and startup India and all this 3 to 4 years primarily, and that is where investments have started going in, and results are now coming in. So they're not entirely to be blamed. They don't know. They don't have that. They have, some of them, 25 to 30% of IN members have invested, say around 50 lakhs to 75 lakhs, and maybe seen 1 or 2 already failed companies in their investments, because failure बहुत जल्दी आ जाता है, and results of the performing ones gets a little delayed. So that is the scenario. If I in certain, I'm sure the same, the investment, Indian investment story of India is what IN's journey is. We started and with failures, then successes, then धीरे धीरे कर करके यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं. So it's a little harsh कि वो उनके जैसे behave कर रहे हैं या वो उनके जैसे behave कर रहे हैं. Basically, they're learning from their mistakes, and from once they make some kind of returns onto their portfolios. आपने 50 लाख रुपए लगाया है, for example, in 10 companies, 5 lakhs each, and आपके 3 कंपनीज में जो 15 लाख थे वो डूब गए हैं ऑलरेडी, बिकॉज वो 3 फेल कर गई हैं 1 साल के अंदर अंदर में ही. और आपकी बाकी की 3-4 कंपनीज जो हैं वो अभी चल रही हैं. देयर इज problems happening and not happening, and COVID happening, and so many other things happening. And एक या 2 कंपनीज में अब आपको नेक्स्ट राउंड की फंडिंग आ गई है, बट एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स डोंट गेट नेसेसरली एन एग्जिट इन द नेक्स्ट राउंड ऑफ फंडिंग कमिंग इन. तो 1 साल उन्होंने वेट किया और उसके बाद 2 साल के करीबन 2 साल के बाद उनके पास आया एक और फंडिंग किसी और इन्वेस्टर का. एंजल्स का 3 साल 4 साल हो गया है. दे आर स्टिल वेटिंग ऑन द नेक्स्ट राउंड ऑफ फंडिंग वेयर दे माइट गेट एन एग्जिट ऑप्शन. तो मैक्सिमम इसी रेंज में ही गए हैं अभी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स भी और एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स भी. अब अगर इनको 50 टाइम्स ऐसे कुछ मिल जाता है, सो इफ यू से दे मेक 50 टाइम्स इन वन ऑफ देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स टेक द गुड साइड ऑफ इट, then they have a good portfolio, then going forward someone will be in a position, and group of such investors will be in a position to start investing, and maybe a little earlier. That is how the industry develops, कि अब product level पे भी and एक ideation level पे भी investments अब डालना शुरू करें हम. Where right now that ideation level पे KIIT-TBI या आपका BIM direct funded companies, biotech की companies या few angel investors, in bits and pockets, because they have seen that curve and that whole cycle of making money, are doing that, but वो limited है अभी भी. आप 3, 4, 5, 7 साल के बाद देखोगे तो एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स एंड आइडिएशन लेवल पे फंडिंग ज्यादा हो रही होगी. Comparatively, the maturity of industry will come in, and then you will see all across, people looking to invest earlier also.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vijesh. So, sir, we'll quickly take 2 more questions and
one more. I've got one more panel, boss.
Okay. So we'll go with Sitanshu. Yeah, I'm unmuting you.
Yeah, good morning, sir. This
Sitanshu.
is Sitanshu.
Yeah.
I'm the founder of Job School and Opposite CTS, and currently incubated in KIIT-TBI. And this is not the first time I'm interacting with you. I've attended your sessions also in KIIT. So my question is, we are basically, before I put the question, I would like to just briefly tell about the startup. We are into the kind of like a platform aggregator, which where multiple stakeholders like career counselors, like a lot of training vendors, even background verification company, and even the assessment company as well as recruiters are involved. So earlier we used to be into the physical mode of training, but nowadays due to the COVID and other things, we had the plan, but in this period only we have already transformed ourselves into the phygital mode, physical as well as digital. So what we are trying to understand in this scenario is what as of now we have been bootstrapping, so we are looking for funding in the near future. So what would be the scope for that?
Any angel investing comes in, जब आप शुरू करोगे ना उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ढूंढना, आपके पास मार्केट ट्रैक्शन है तो शुरू करना, उसके पहले तो अभी करना मत, बिकॉज मार्केट इज नॉट दैट गंगो के आपके प्रोडक्ट स्टेज पे या एक आइडिएशन स्टेज पे या उस पे अभी करेगा. तो जितना भी अभी सिचुएशन है राइट नाउ इज अ लिटिल ग्रिम फॉर ऑल सेक्टर्स. लेट मी बी बहुत किक-एस कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी है, देन एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स आर रियली पिकिंग इट अप, अदरवाइज इट्स स्टेइंग लो. They are delaying term sheets and delaying investments, already issued term sheets being relooked into. So utilize this time to get some more traction onto your platform is the best advice that I can give, because right now आप अपना time with angels and VCs अभी मत waste करो, because 1 या 2 महीने के अंदर में the clarity will be much better and you will be in a better position. But having said that, it takes at least 3 to 6 months for your money to hit in when you start approaching them. This is traditional way of looking at it, and post COVID abhi ek thoda change hoga and market jaisi khulega, there might be but I would suggest that you don't, approach angels or VCs right now. Try to get to your customers, take as much as money as you can from them, and जब तक बहुत bare essential आपको requirement ना हो कि 3 या 4 महीने के बाद आप break even, मतलब आपका you can't survive after that, then you start approaching angels. तब तक थोड़ा market भी खुल चुका होगा. Right now just stick on to your product, get your product market fitment correct, get a few or more paying customers to start utilizing your product and paying for the services that you're giving, and that will only build up your business. Don't worry, जितने ज्यादा paying customers होते हैं उतनी ज्यादा capacity रहती है for a startup to negotiate on their valuation.
Right, sir. So we have been actually bootstrapping since last 3 years, and and recently we have transformed ourselves into the digital mode, and we have started even getting the traction. So according to you, we should wait for next 6 months of time to get.
Not 6 months. I think 3 months is good enough. 3 months तक wait करोगे, उसके बाद फिर लुकअप करना शुरू कर देना. 3 months के बाद थोड़ा वैसे भी खुल चुका होगा स्टार्टअप. और 3 months में बैठो मत, अपने प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विसेज को और स्ट्रॉन्ग करो, और जितने ज्यादा और ट्रैक्शन ला सकते हो ना उतना लेके आओ.
बिल्कुल सर, वी आर फोकसिंग.
3 months के बाद आप अप्रोच करो एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स को. आई एम श्योर जब आपको पैसा चाहिए उसके 3 महीने पहले या 4 महीने पहले से आप शुरू कर दो डोर नॉकिंग. एवरीवन.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And I think, this is more about, surviving this time,
surviving and going on. जितने भी आप paying ला सकते हो, that's the best thing. आप अपने प्रोडक्ट और सर्विसेज को स्ट्रॉन्गर कर रहे हो और अपनी वैल्यूएशन बेटर कर.
Yes, right. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Mr. Sudhanshu.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thanks a lot to the entire panel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
चलो.
Sure, sir. So I'm Sanjukta ma'am is here. So she wants to.
Hi Sanjukta. So give me your leave now and invite me to Bhubaneswar after whenever this is open. I don't know when will it open.
Sanjukta ma'am, you're on mute. Wait, let me unmute you. Yeah.
Sanjukta, invite me to Bhubaneswar.
Thank you so much. We look forward to see you again in Bhubaneswar.
जल्दी से खत्म करो आप ये कोविड.
Yeah, post COVID.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, we are
for
expecting.
having me there. Thank you. I hope I have been of help to some of the founders. And
Yes, sir.
please carry on. Don't get too grim and be positive. Markets वापस normal हो जाएंगे. Everything is going to be fine. Some of the sectors are really looking good. Make full use of those if you are in that sector. And all the best, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and answering all the questions which we had. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very helpful. Definitely, it will be helpful for startups to understand how they can respond to this situation, and they can
Thank you,
go. They
Sanjukta.
can
Thanks a
design
lot.
their business model strategy to combat this situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.